I got clowned for that by my friends.
Really? Yes. Wait, what context did you say ziplining in? What did I ask you?
I think it was an audience question. They were like, what's your hobbies? And I was like, eating
ramen and ziplining.
And ziplining, and all my friends were there too, who you met.
Yeah.
And they were all like, ziplining? Because I guess they didn't know that about me. And I was like, guys, I swear I love to zipline.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Off the Shelf. Today joining me is a great friend, an incredible author, and our first repeat author on the show. Welcome, Lauren Roberts.
Hi. Thanks for having me again.
Course. I feel like a lot has happened since we've last seen you, but how are you?
It's been such a whirlwind. And for you too. I mean, this is a different studio and it's so beautiful.
Thank you.
Also,
Thank you.
I'm like,
we have leveled up since the last time we saw,
it.
although this is also the third time I've seen you this year.
Yes.
Which is wild to say. I mean,
Yup.
you're Michigan, like we're somewhat close,
yes,
but
we're neighbors.
3 times is impressive. So
I
now we
know.
were talking earlier, we have to top it next year.
I know. What should we do? Something crazy.
Yeah, what should we
Football
do?
stadium.
No. We have to go thrifting. We were talking about this before we started filming. I am not a good thrifter because I have no patience. So I think we need to.
Yes, we need to collab. and it's like the thrill of the hunt.
Yeah.
Scavenging, hunting, gathering. Like that's what I
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
And we should do that. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Let's bring the podcast on the go.
For sure. So we were also just at a baseball game.
Yup.
Can you take us through that a little bit? Like, how did you?
Yes.
So you threw out the first pitch at the Tigers game. We did a Q&A. Like, how was that?
It was so fun, which first of all, thank you for being there. Because I know you had to do the drive down.
We are
and
now
I just-
even. Yes.
Literally, I was like, Morgan did it for me. You know? I'm gonna do it for her, you know?
And I would do it again.
I would too.
do it again.
Absolutely. It was so fun. Didn't watch a single bit of the game. Hey, I don't even know who won.
We did chat the whole game. Yeah.
Yes.
But that's fine.
We did.
When you were you nervous about throwing out the first pitch?
I have never been so nervous.
Oh, okay.
Like genuinely, I actually really enjoy public speaking. And that's not to say I'll get nervous, but just maybe like 2 minutes before I go up and then I'm good. But with that, it was like I can speak in front of 1,000 people, but throwing a baseball, I was so scared and I can't watch the video back. I can't watch it. Really? It's like every time I look on my Instagram, just like, ugh.
It was a great throw.
Thanks.
You made it to the plate.
I did. I will say that. But I practiced. I went out with my friends and we found a baseball on like the sidewalk, like a dirty baseball. And we picked it up and we were practicing with it. And I felt really good about it. And then I went out there and like completely forgot everything that I learned. And I felt like I was just like,
No. Well, you did the arm thing
did
too,
do
right?
the
Where did
elbow
that come
pop.
from? Who told you to do that?
I saw a video of a nun doing it.
What?
What?
Wait.
There was a nun that went and threw out the first pitch. I don't know where she was, but she threw it out at some baseball game and the video went viral. And I was like, wow, she's so cool. Like, I remember thinking that was the coolest thing ever.
That came from a nun?
Yeah.
I thought that was like coming from your brother or like someone.
No.
Okay.
I literally was like, I want to do what the nun did. And I want to do the elbow pop. And so I practiced.
Wow.
And with the dirty baseball, I was like fully practicing with it. So I figured if that was good enough, then no one would remember if the pitch was bad. So
yeah.
it was so fun.
Yeah.
So
it was
thank
incredible.
You for being there.
Absolutely.
It was really good.
Before we get into Fearful, I know that Powerless was like based on a shower thought. Have you had any other shower thoughts? And even doesn't have to be about books lately, but like what are some shower thoughts you've had recently?
Yes, I had actually a Costco thought. Where all good thoughts come from. Literally had a hot dog in hand. And I was like, I don't remember how it came about, but I was really intrigued by shadows. And that was the thought that started something I'm working on in the future. And I can't say too much. But I kind of was literally in Costco like, what if they did this and this? And walking around like grocery shopping, thinking about it. So that was like my variation of shower thought.
I mean, we'll take it. Damn.
Yes.
Okay, let's chat about Fearful. Walk me through like what this book is about.
Yes. So this book, I mean, I knew I was going to be writing it early on. Like when my publisher came to me about writing some novellas, we obviously knew what Powerful was going to be. And that was like immediate. Mac and I were kind of beefing a little bit. Like we didn't really like each other, but I figured it out, and Powerful became what it is. But Fearful was kind of like, all right, down the road, I got to figure that out. And so when I got to Fearless, I was seeding things for Fearful directly in that book.
Oh.
Yeah. I know that was a little confusing, but there's direct scenes and quotes and dialogue that are taken out of Fearless and put in Fearful in a different perspective.
So were you tandem writing?
Almost.
Okay.
Like I had finished Fearless because that took years off my life.
Right.
Like, genuinely. I think I said that last time. It's like I spent months and months on that book. But as I was writing that, I was actively taking notes for Fearful and like plotting it out so that when I stepped into Fearful, I knew what was happening and like what to say and what chapters or like pieces of dialogue to call back on. So it was kind of like 2 books in one in a sense. And so with this one though, it also gave me some trouble because I was like,
who was the problem child in this book?
It was actually all of them.
Okay.
It was like pretty much all of them. I guess for the first time since Powerful, I was writing about a brand new character who I didn't know, who is like part of the main story. So Mara, who was Death, was this character that I was like, okay, who are you? We got to figure this out. And now I feel like I know her very well. And she's one of my favorites in the whole series. And I think she's like the most real and raw character, despite her being literal death and like this like insane power. She reacts to things the way that like we either want to or we do. Like she can be obsessive and she can like want some revenge. She gets bitter or upset about things. And I feel like that's so real. And a lot of times in fantasy books, we only see characters who are like always good all the time or always bad all the time, you know? And I thought it was so fun to kind of show what a real human would be in that scenario. So anyways, I really dove into this book and I was like, what do I want to say with this? Because I kind of figured out who it was going to be about, you know, Kit and Mara and then Blair and Lenny and following the path of Fearless. But I really wanted the overall, like, I guess, tone and moral of this book to be about humanity and like love and life and death and hope and things like that. Like it feels to me like the most raw and human book of them all because novellas are so like character based. So I really dove into that.
I know you came up with like Peyton's name from the TikTok live.
Yes.
And Kai and Kit you wanted K names. Where did Mara come from?
Mara, I Googled names that stand for death or correlate with death. And Mara, somehow, I should probably know the logistics of it, but somehow I remember seeing her name and it correlates with death or the afterlife or things like that. And I just loved the name. So I went with Mara.
Interesting. Wait, because I have a couple of friends named Mara, and I don't even think they know.
I'm
not gonna tell them. They're not readers, so they also won't listen to this. But interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I could be wrong. Google. Oh my goodness. Google. Google could be wrong. But I remember there was like a whole list of them, and I saw Mara, which I have such a nasty habit of. Some of my names are very similar to other ones. Like I know there's like a Mira in this series. And I was like, all right, guys, don't get confused because I'm going with Mara.
Did you have any runners up or were you like, Mara, done?
It was pretty much just Mara. I want to say maybe there was another one, but I don't even remember. Yeah, it was Mara. I love a short and sweet name. You know, there's a time and a place for a long name, of course. But like Kit, Kai, super simple. Lenny, Blair.
I guess so.
Yeah.
But it's... I don't want to use the word like symbolic, but like to have someone like the master of death, like Mara, but she has like so much underneath.
Layers. Exactly. And like you can really see she's just a girl.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, who was kind of robbed of her life, which there's a lot more to say about her that, you know, you leave with a lot of questions. So there's a lot more to say. And I have her whole lore in my brain, but you can kind of see that she's embittered, especially between like Lenny and Blair, and she sees their connection, and she's like, well, my connection I had didn't work, so how are you guys gonna make it? And, you know, she kind of stalks them and follows them around, which was so fun to write, because originally, here's some more lore. Here's some more lore.
Dramatics. Let's hear it. I want to hear it now. I'm fun. Sad.
But yeah, I originally wrote like 80% of the book with the point of views from Lenny, Blair, and Kit. I had no Mara point of views. And at this point, this was my 5th book, which is crazy to even say, but it was the 5th book, and I had just come off of like a really large tour, and I was just kind of tired. You know, I think as a creatives, like, you know,
absolutely,
like, it just, even though you love what you do and you have so much more to say and do and bring to the table, you still can battle with that burnout.
Yeah,
of like,
because
okay,
you want to give your best effort.
Yes.
And when you're so tired, it's very hard to give your all to something you love so, so much.
Exactly. And like, I knew for years that I was going to write this book. So it wasn't like all right, I need some more cash. Let me whip out a novella. You know, like, it was, I knew this was coming, and it was worked into the whole overall story. And this book bridges things I want to do in the future also. So it was really important, and I wanted to make it as good as I possibly could. And so I was kind of battling with like, all right, here we go. I got to get excited and get ready for this. And so I wrote, okay, author. I wrote.
It's okay, yes. You can write well. It's okay. Sometimes words are hard.
No one needs to hear me speak.
No, it's fine. We'll cut that.
Got it. I wrote like 80% of it, and I hated it. And I never want to put anything out that I'm not proud of and that I don't like myself, because at the end of the day, like, I'm writing for me, and then I'm writing for those who hopefully want to read it. But also, like, I'm not going to write anything that I wouldn't want to pick up and read.
Exactly.
You know, because that defeats the whole point. And so I remember I got 80% through, and I had like an emergency meeting with my editors, and I was like, I don't like this. And of course, I love my editors, but they were like, Lauren, you say this about every book. Because I do. Every book, I'm like, this is the worst. And then I take a step back, and I'm like, okay, wait, I might have ate. I might have ate with that. We'll see. But with this one, I was like, no, read it and tell me what you think, because I think Blair and Lenny's chapters are just not working. And they read it, and they came back, and they were like, yeah, you're right.
Wow.
And I am really thankful, and like, I respect them so much for not just like blowing smoke up my ass, basically, and being like, no, it's so good, you know, because I was like, I don't feel confident about this. And they were like, we know this isn't the best you can do with this story. And I was like, I agree. So I kind of scrapped everything that I did and took it from a new angle, which was from Mara and Kit, because I think we were just never supposed to be inside Lenny and Blair's head. And that was the problem, especially Blair, because she's such a like, she's still not a great person, but she has some redeeming things in this book.
You feel for her.
Yes. Yeah. But if you're in her head, you like lose part of her annoying personality, you know? So it was like, it just wasn't working. And now I can't even imagine the book any other way. Like, Mara kind of being written from third person too, and being able to spy on everybody was exactly, I can't even imagine it differently.
I mean, we still got so much of Blair and Lenny, but from Death's point of view, which I mean, I loved.
Oh, I'm so glad.
It was so great. What is it like to like write a novella compared to a full-fledged novel? Like, is there any intricacies that us as readers wouldn't know?
Yes, I think like novellas to begin with are very polarizing, because if you don't like the character that the novella is written about, you're already not going to like the novella, because that's it. It's just them, you know?
Yeah.
And so they're already polarizing in that sense. But because you're working with so few words, like, you have like, and Fearful was longer than it was supposed to be too. Right. Like, I think it was over 40,000 words, and it was supposed to be around 35. So and 5,000 words isn't a ton, but that's like at least 2 chapters right there. And so it's difficult to kind of switch my mindset, because I yap. I'm a yapper, you know? And so these books are very long, especially Fearless was like a brick. And so then to switch your mindset into being, okay, now I have to focus on character development, you know, so I have to make that mental switch and like try and portray the story, but through the characters, because there's not a ton of like action and things happening in novellas. It's more of like it's truly for the readers and for the fans. Like if you're a passive reader, you might not pick up the novellas, but if you're a fan, like this is for you. Here's some more lore, more insight on these characters. And so kind of switching that perspective is difficult. And also I get more nervous about novellas than I do regular books because, like I said, they're so polarizing and sometimes they can just be a little less interesting, you know, like there's not as much action. There's not as much maybe romance. Like it really is a character thing. I want to hear your perspective.
No, I mean, I think exactly what you said. Like if I obviously am a huge fan of these books and I appreciate a novella because it's a different angle. Like us as readers already have an angle of a certain book and like you're wondering and you're filling in context clues and you're reading between the lines on like other characters. But I feel like a novella fills in those lines, which I love and appreciate like in a series I love. But you're right. Like if I'm reading a different series and I'm like not obsessed with certain characters, I might not pick up the novella.
Exactly. So. Yeah. And so Fearful was really for the fans. And, you know, I hope people enjoy. And there's more to be said. And like more, this book is like bridging into other things and also the way I want to write in the future. And so it really was kind of like an experiment in front of an audience, which is really
in front of a lot of people.
You know, which is scary of like, they might hate it. But if they do, I hope that, you know, at least they see the value in it and maybe they'll come back for other things because I'm going to keep writing, you know, I'll be here. So I hope you enjoy, you know, it is, but it's a little scary, but also such a privilege to get to like continue this story for people who care about it and want to read it.
For sure. Mm-hmm. So there's like a tandem reading guide on your Instagram that I saw. I know you were taking notes while you were writing Fearless. Did you help craft that tandem read? Like it was a team of people working on it or?
Yes, I didn't help with that. I should have. But I have. They're so nice. They were like, we're going to take this off your plate. I was like, thank you.
Yeah.
But I did like fully, as I was writing Fearful, like I said, I had Fearless open and I would mark the chapters. So I definitely spoke with my editors and they knew where the chapters fit in. But when it came to laying it all out like that, they were like, we got it. I was like, thank you. You know, thank you. So I think the tandem read is like, I'm a little biased, but I think it's really cool. Like I really like that's you're able to do that and it mirrors the same situation with Powerless and Powerful. Like it's, you know, both books mirror each other, especially because both novellas are about a character where we already know their fate before even going into the book. But I will say, don't do the tandem read before reading Fearless unless you want everything to be spoiled.
Right.
Because
they're already...
Yes, Fearful tells you everything. Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much. Right. Interesting. I want to hear about the audiobook.
Yes.
How did that go? Like, how was...
Oh my goodness.
Because it's a lot more than a prologue.
Get set.
Yeah.
I read the prologue for Fearless, which was so cool. And I'm like such a theater kid at heart. Like I am. I really didn't know that. Yes. Couldn't tell with my theatrics. But I've always... Like, I just love, I love reading out loud. I love doing voices. Like, that's something I really enjoy. I'm always whipping some strange voice out. Like, it's so weird. Aww. And so with Fearless, they offered, do you want to read the prologue? And I was like, yes. Yeah. So I drove to a studio and read it. It was like 20 minutes, super quick.
Wow, that's it.
That's it. It is
all right.
So quick.
How many takes did you do of the prologue for Fearless?
I did 2.
Oh, that's it. And they loved it. And they're like,
yeah. Okay. I was like, thanks, God. They were really hyping me up. But
all right.
Which I appreciated because I was so nervous. It's kind of like singing in front of someone.
Oh, definitely.
You know, especially if you're not confident in how you sound. It's like, this is like really awkward. And also I kept burping into the mic, which I might actually do today because when you're like,
did you drink carbonation before or was it like nervous?
It was like apparently, so the producer, she was on Zoom for all of these. Amazing. We really bonded, like trauma bonded, truly. First of all, I'd be like making up words that weren't on the page. I'd be like, hey, I didn't even write that. I'm just talking. So that would happen. But then also because you're sitting there, because we would do 4 hours at a time. So I did 3 separate sessions of 4 hours. And I only read half of the book, you know? And so, yeah, apparently because you're continually oh my goodness, continually swallowing air, you just keep burping. And I thought it was me. And she might have been being nice. Maybe it is just me, like just belching into her microphone. But she reminded me that like most audiobook like actors do that.
It's normal.
It's normal. I was like, girl, you need a raise. Literally, because I'm just like burping into the mic. It was so horrible. I felt so bad. Anyways, that was not important.
No, because I was going to ask you, like, what was the hardest part about narrating the audiobook? And I guess
the burping. The constant burping. And like, obviously, I am very much a perfectionist and I think everybody is when it comes to like their
their own work. Yeah.
Yes. Like other things in life, I'm like, whatever. But when it comes to my work and how it's being perceived and things like that, like I really want to make it the best it can be. And so when it came to reading this, which I guess I could say how it even happened, the team at Simon & Schuster, they asked me to do it, which was crazy.
Okay.
I mean, I would have asked them because I loved reading the prologue. And I guess they listened to the prologue and they were like, yeah, do you want to read for Mara? And immediately I was like, yes. So it was so fun. So that's how it happened. But yeah, I guess the hardest part was, yes, the burping, of course. Right. But also I found myself wanting to just redo take after take because I'd be like, I don't like the way that I sounded there. Or I remember the first recording I did, I left feeling really good about it. Like, wow, I think I did a good job with that. I feel like the voices were different enough. Like, I feel good. And then I had about a week and a half in between that recording to the next one. And so when I got to the second one, I couldn't I didn't have the right concept of the voices or how I did. So I was like comparing myself to an idea of my prior self, you know? And so I felt like the second time I wasn't as good. And so I was conscious about that. Of course, the producer was so kind as I'm just like burping at her. But like, you know, but I would say that was the most difficult part.
Yeah. How do you remember in what like tone or voice you said the like dialogue in?
Yes. So they're like the studio hand, like the person who's taking the clips and like in there recording it. He was amazing. Like we had so many giggles, and he would take like little snippets of each different voice so that if I needed to hear it back, he could play it. So Lenny was kind of like a frat boy, like Blair, I don't know what you want me. Like it was very like frat boy-y, and I would like lead into that. And so if I couldn't get it right, I'd be like, can you play me the clip? Which that was one of the worst parts, was hearing myself back. I was like, oh, I quit. I do this. Like, I don't know, because I guess when you have headphones on too, you have like a different idea of what you sound like. And then when I heard it back, I was like, oh, okay.
So how many voices did you have to do? Lenny, Blair,
Mara, Kit, Kai, Peyton.
Oh my God.
There was a Gale line in there. There was like, some of them were very few. Like Kai had very few lines. Same with Peyton. There was a line of Gale. And I remember I did so many takes of like a Southern, like, oh, sweetie, she's not going to like that.
That was good. That was good.
And we kept doing it. I just kept laughing because it's uncomfortable to like put yourself out there. Like if it's me and my cats in my bedroom, the voices I will whip out would be insane. Like, give me an acting career. But in front of other people, it's like, you know, you get a little more timid. So, but I definitely felt like I warmed up throughout the process, and it was amazing. It was so cool to be a part of it.
How long did it take start to finish?
It was about 12 hours in total, I would say, of like constant recording. And like we would take breaks and drink a ton of water, burp, you know, eat. But that was kind of the gist of it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Can you say what's next? What's coming after Fearful?
So, yes, there's a lot of lore here. Okay. As you know, like if you've read Fearful, you leave with questions. But I promise all the questions have a purpose. So everything you have a question about, like I have the answer. I just need time to sprinkle it out there. But this is the end of the Powerless series. Like this concludes it. But I am using this kind of to build off of, and there's more to be said within this universe and some other characters and things like that. And so I'm working on something currently and into the future that you don't have to read Powerless to read. Like, it's a new entry point for different readers.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Completely different, like, magic kingdom characters, new book boyfriend, hopefully. We'll see if I can manage. New everything. But if you've read Powerless, you might notice like kind of a through line, like a very subtle connection, because I'm kind of building the universe, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
I get it. I'm here. I'll be here waiting for the next one.
Thank you.
So Fearful released on September 2nd.
2nd. Mm-hmm.
Did you feel bittersweet on that day, knowing this was the last book release in this Powerless series?
Yes, it was very bittersweet, because I feel like Fearless, in a way, you know, that was the end of the trilogy, so that was bittersweet. But then Fearful was kind of like the capstone, I guess. And so like I got to step back into the world just to leave it again, which was sad. And like I said, there's a lot of nerves that came with that book specifically, of like, oh, I hope people like it. And I feel like I'm experimenting a little bit. And so that was also bittersweet of, you know, this is the last thing I'm putting out here for this series, and I hope people enjoy. I hope they stick around for things in the future. But I can't believe it. Like, it's insane.
It's been a wild ride.
Yeah.
Even like, and we talked about this in our other episode, but just like you and I being Book Talk mutuals at like in 2020, I'm in awe of you.
Stop.
It's honestly been, and I know this is probably like our 6th interview or like thing we've done in front of the camera or something. And I mean, it never gets old. You always surprise me. I found out you loved ramen in the last time we chatted, in that I don't even know.
In zipline.
What ziplining was?
I got clowned for that by my friend.
Really? Yes. Wait, what context did you say ziplining in? What did I ask you?
I think it was an audience question. They were like, "What's your hobbies?" And I was like, "Eating
ramen and ziplining."
And ziplining, and all my friends were there too, which you met.
Yeah.
Or who you met. And they were all like, ziplining? Because I guess they didn't know that about me. I was like, guys, I swear I love to zipline. So everybody's learning that for the first time, I guess. But yeah, I feel like every time. And
I'm learning new things about you, and I love it. I'm going to ask you a series of questions like with the titles in mind, if that makes sense. So tell me about a time in your life where you felt powerless.
Ooh. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's a great question. I feel like, and this is a very general time in my life, because I think this is something we can all relate to on a certain level, but any time where you feel like you can't stand up for yourself, if that makes sense, of like, for whatever reason, you feel, all right, I gotta be the bigger person here, or I gotta, which is
and I'm such a petty person, and I hate being the bigger person.
It's the worst. And this is obviously feeling powerless on a very low scale, like absolutely. But I think that's one of those things where you're like, you just feel like you want to shake someone's shoulders almost and be like, no, but you don't understand. Like, this is the truth, or this is how it really is. And I feel like I felt that like a few times, you know, over the course of my short career too, and just my life, of like, you kind of have to just sit back and let things play out and be like, you know what?
It is what it is.
It is what it is. And I feel like that's like, again, a very low level of feeling powerless in the fact of like, you know, there's nothing I can do about this, even though I wish these people knew, or they knew this about me, or they didn't know this, but it is what it is.
It is what I love that saying these days. Okay, other side of the spectrum, walk me through a time where you felt powerful.
Ooh, I think I'm still learning how to be powerful, but I think I had a really exciting meeting a couple months ago, and it was like a big like career thing, like in a room with a lot of older people who have been doing this for a very long time. And I walked in there, and I felt really good about it. And I felt like I left making a really good impression. And I'm only 22, you know, you're 21.
No, I'm 22.
You're 22. Yes.
Yes.
We talked about that.
But you're turning 23 soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So like we're
a year
it.
apart. Yeah.
We're at that age where it's like, we're adults, but also in a room with like 40, 50-year-olds. Sometimes it can be strange to try and like put yourself out there and almost like call the shots. It's so weird, because I also am very much like, I hate confrontation.
Same.
I am like, that's like my worst nightmare, but I have a lot of opinions. So those two things conflict.
Are we to...
Hey.
Okay.
Literally.
Yeah.
Like I have so many opinions and I know how I want things done. But if we're going to like butt heads about something, I'm going to be like, that's not my favorite thing by any means. So especially being in like a business setting of like, I got to really like put myself out there. And I had that meeting and I felt very powerful leaving it. I was like, and in like a non-toxic way.
Yeah.
Like, you're fired. Like,
right.
Like very much like friendly, but I felt like I was advocating for myself and, you know, I was showing that I could be an asset in this and in the exciting thing. So yeah, I would say that.
I love it. Okay. I think you know where this is going.
Yup.
Tell me what a time where you felt reckless.
Ooh.
Ziplining.
Literally me flipping off the zip line. Favorite thing ever. Truly. Apparently there's no proof of me doing that.
How many times have you been ziplining in your life?
My friend said too. I've probably been like 7 times. I've been to the longest zip line in the country. So boring also.
Which is where?
Somewhere on the East Coast.
Okay.
I don't remember where, but
that's what we'll do next year. Thrifting and ziplining.
And ramen.
Done. Well, I don't love ramen, so
I can fix you. Just kidding. I'll fix her. No, we'll get something you like. But yeah, ziplining for sure. But aside from that, I would say probably dropping out of university.
Yeah, I guess so.
You know, like I would say that was really reckless in a way, but I had the support of my parents and my friends and I was like, I put my mind to it and I want to do this. And if it flops, like I'll go back to school and I'll try something else. But I really felt that I needed to do that for me before I could pursue anything else. So yeah, I'd say that.
Did you have any regrets about not staying in school?
Ooh,
or are you good on your path?
I feel like it's hard because there's definitely one regret I do have is not having like a university experience. And I think we talked about this.
We did.
Yeah.
Because even I went to university and I did not have a university experience.
Right. And I was doing community college and like getting my general courses out of the way. And then I went away for 1 semester and then I left to go publish the book. And even that, I was at a very small university and I just feel like I could have learned so much about myself and like what I wanted my life to be and things like that. If I had made more friends, stuff like that. Like that is a regret I have. Like I wish I had those like crazy college years, you know, but instead I was like in my childhood bedroom writing a book and things, which obviously I do not regret. And it is like such an honor and a privilege to even have the opportunities that I've had. So I don't take that for granted at all. So I'm like, if my life wouldn't have changed, I would have loved to be in university. But I think if I would have gone, it wouldn't have worked out this way. So it's like a give and a take for sure.
Yeah. What I will say about like first year uni, like party days, I block it out. Do not show me a single photo from myself in that time. Do not show me
the White Claws.
Nothing. Why was I pretending to like those things? Why was I pretending to like fuzz?
The buzz balls.
What is that? I don't know what a buzz. I don't know if we have that in Canada.
Okay, we're adding that. We're drinking buzz balls and then going ziplining.
We don't like alcohol though.
I don't like alcohol.
Is buzzball alcohol?
Buzzball is it looks like a pool ball. Okay, it's like a little ball and it's 15% alcohol.
Oh no.
And they have like a margarita tasting one. They have like a coffee, like an espresso martini one. They are so strong. And if you drink one of them, it's like you're done.
You're done.
Literally, you're done. So I haven't.
And you've
had
taken
one?
I
mean, it's been a while.
Okay,
it's been a while.
Well, we're adults.
I say that as like I'm 22. I haven't had one in a while.
Yeah,
but they are.
Oh, that'll mess me up.
Horrific.
Yeah, first year uni, like.
Was
not. I feel like
I don't know her.
This is so off topic from books now, but like you become like a different version of yourself. That's like that's not me.
Right.
Like I associate more with my high school self than I do with my first year university self. Because you are like you're branching on and you are learning things about yourself, but I've learned more in the last year than I ever did in university, truthfully.
That's great. And that's a good thing to hold on to be like, I know I didn't miss out. Because I definitely agree. Like, that's a good point of, I feel like in college, there's almost, like, I know there's peer pressure in high school, but in college, it's like,
see, I didn't have any peer pressure in high school because I went to this silly academic high school
right,
where no
I went
one
to a
drank.
very, very small high school, so I didn't have that either, which is why I'm still best friends with my 2 best friends from high school.
Gotcha, yeah.
I've only made 1 friend since then. She's right there. That's literally it. And you're right here too.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's it. I have 4 and counting, so maybe we'll make some more.
Amazing. Where was I on? What book are we on?
Reckless.
Tell me about a time where you felt fearful.
Ooh. I think every book I've ever put out, I felt fearful. And again, I do think that's like a universal creative curse. Like, that's the curse of being a creative, is like, you're so proud of what you do, and then you're so terrified to like
Put
give
it out.
Yeah, because like with any sort of medium of art, once it's out in the world, like, it's not really yours anymore. And
We have talked about this before.
yes.
Yeah.
And that's almost like, it's beautiful and terrifying at the same time, because I love that, like, it's now ours. Like, this is for you to read, or for you to watch, or for you to whatever. It's for you to consume and figure out how you feel about it. And like, whatever, if you love it, great. If you hate it, that's totally fine. But so there's so much beauty in that. But at the same time, it's like, oh, but I just want to like protect that piece of myself almost. So I think every book, there's definitely always worries or things. And of course I want to make everybody happy, but
you have to make yourself happy first.
Right.
Is what I often tell myself. Like, don't try to do something for, like, just, otherwise it's not going to matter.
Right. And I think also, especially readers, like, they can smell authenticity. Yeah. Like, it like wafts from the book. Yeah. Like, it's crazy. Like, they know when like an author wasn't passionate about what they're writing. Like, I truly believe that, you know? And so of course I always want to keep that at the center. So the fear isn't about like, I'm always so proud of what I do. I guess the fear is like, wonder how it's going to be received, or like, you know, which again is just like a creative thing of, you're always worried about how people are perceiving you or your work and stuff like that. Yeah. So,
well, what I will say about your books is I always feel the authenticity and the love, because you've always said like you wrote the tropes that you love, which is such like, it's a simple statement, but it holds so much value in it.
Yeah. Thank you. Because honestly, like it, you know, I feel like with each book, each one is like a mosaic of who I was at that age and like what I wanted to say and how I wanted to say it. So like Powerless was like tropes and just like every sort of romance and fantasy dynamic, I just shoved it in there because that's what I wanted, you know? And so that's what Powerless was. And then Powerful was like sweet and soft and leaned more into the writing. And then Reckless was romance. And then Fearless was more plot and fantasy. I was really, I mean, I wrote that at 21. And so I was like really into the fantasy of it and like, you know, the characters and the development. And then Fearful was like a different sort of writing that I'm really into because I love literary fiction-esque writing. Yes. So that's what I wanted to try. So I think it's like really cool to look back at kind of this mosaic or this time capsule of like my young adult years.
Well, because now it's like it's 18 to almost 23. Yeah. Which is wild.
Insane. And I always have to remind myself of that too. And like, again, this goes for any creative too. Yeah. This goes for you. It goes, you know, of like, you're just going to keep getting better. You know, like this is just the beginning.
I try to tell myself that. Yes.
Yes. Like you are tough. Like, this is my freshman album almost, you know, how like artists, they have their freshman album and then they have their sophomore album, you know? And so like, this is your sophomore podcast. Like you've leveled up. This is season 2. And so that's what I'm hoping for.
That's such a good way to put it.
You know, of like, you're just going to keep getting better. And like, that's the goal, you know, is to like every book be better than the last, and for what I'm saying to resonate with the time in my life, you know, like I want it to have purpose and like a meaning as to what I'm saying. So now I'm working on my sophomore album. So
oh my gosh, we haven't done Fearless.
Oh, Fearless.
Tell me about a time in your life where you felt fearless.
I guess the other side, like the other side of the coin of fearful is like, I'm so scared about putting my work out there. But then the other side is like, I'm putting it out there and it's scary, but I'm doing it anyway, you know? But again, it is still such a privilege to have the opportunity to put the books out there. Like I always want to you know, that point needs to be driven home for sure. But it's still scary. So I would say maybe, yeah, that side of like putting my work out there and hoping people like it.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. I love it. We ready for some Reddit stories?
I'm so excited.
Okay, so I have not read any of these. So we're like blind, so related to books that we're going to like not necessarily like react to, but like give our thoughts and give a final verdict on like, are they the asshole or not?
So excited. Okay.
All right, everybody. First one. Am I the asshole for not telling my family about being an author? When I was younger, my parents always told me I was a great writer, but I should absolutely not pursue writing. They routinely discouraged me and even pulled me from the writers' workshops and creative writing clubs in high school and middle school. Both my mom and my dad, they're divorced, basically never agreed on anything except you'd be a destitute and poor living on the streets if I ever pursued writing. So I ended up getting a STEM degree they wanted and have a good job. But I've been writing on the side for 5.5 years now. I've made a name for myself in a specific niche. I don't make a ton of money, but I won a couple of awards and have some small success in what became my hobby. I elected to not tell my family or really anyone besides my current partner, 30, male, of 3 years. Because, well, fuck them. But also, I write in the contemporary romance and there's some sexual smut in my books. Oh, I hope they include the name of the books in this so I can go. Name? I know. It's like Emily Henry.
That's so funny.
I guess I feel weird and uncomfortable sharing with them too. Anyways, my partner Jack told them about it when we visited my mom and my aunt last month, and now they have been sending me all kinds of messages that how I'm a bad daughter and that I should have told them and shared my success. They basically complain that I robbed them of the opportunity to share info with the family and friends about my success. I told Jack that we need to spend some time apart because I feel like my boundaries were violated. He got upset, but he's staying in the hotel at the moment. I'm thinking about breaking up with him, which I've told by my mom sounds crazy. My mom also didn't text me on my birthday this year. I think we have some deeper issues than the author. And instead sent me a text that said, if you don't want to talk with us, that's fine. This is what it'd be like. Message was longer, but I paraphrased TLDR. Am I the asshole in this situation? I guess it's a pretty big thing to hide for more than a decade. There's so much else going on in this story.
I feel like this is the plot of a book. Like,
yeah,
genuinely.
Take your, yeah.
This is how she's promoting her work. There you go. No, well, what do you think?
Okay, so she's 27 and she's been writing since she was 22. I mean, I don't think she's the asshole.
I don't either. I think it's her decision
to
share what she wants to share. And she had every reason not to because of how...
Yeah. I especially think like when you're 17 going into university and your parents are like, I mean, I guess this is your situation though. But it worked for you. It can go either way. Like I think some parents could be like, no, like get a STEM job. And I mean, a lot of them are like that. But I also think parents need to give their kids the opportunity to try and fail and see if things work and not like necessarily go and get a STEM degree right away.
Absolutely. What I didn't like about that was how they pulled her from the writing workshops in high school and stuff. It's like, okay, whether she pursues it or not, like
let her try.
Right. This is her outlet. Like at least give her the tools and things like that. Or you can do both. You can still be in school.
Yeah.
And write, you know, and no.
Yeah, I don't know. Getting a full I again, like it's tough. I can't relate because my parents were like, why are you in school? Like just go pursue the social media world and everything. They didn't go to, none of my family or my brother went to post-secondary.
Wow.
I think I was like first generation uni student.
Oh my goodness.
So, but just because I loved school and academics and learning and everything, but it was very important for me to get my degree in political science, knowing that I might never use it, but I wanted it. Like that was important to me. But if it's not, then don't.
Right. And how my parents approached it too was like, I already had, you know, a little bit of a following online and I had written this book. And so my mom was like, all right, you have a semester basically of like, I'm going to support you. Let's see if we can make it work. But if it doesn't, go back to school after, you know? And so,
I think your parents need to be, in my personal opinion, they should be there and to support you. Have a backup option. That's fine. Like you don't need to like pursue your dreams like straight out of high school. But I mean, if you're passionate about something, just like try it.
Yeah, but there's so much in there.
I think there's a lot of deeper issues about, but the boyfriend, I think the boyfriend shouldn't have told the mom and the aunt.
No.
He is an asshole for doing that.
What are we doing?
Jack, why are we
and
sharing
he's 30
this?
at his big age.
He's 30.
Come on.
But I don't think he told them out of like happiness for her. I think he said it because he knew they didn't know. Is my take.
Or maybe they made a comment or something. Me like writing a book off of this. I'm like, they made a comment. And
this is the Powerless spinoff. Literally. Now we're like.
Literally.
Yeah,
so strange.
There are some comments. A violation of trust with or without a physical betrayal is a huge deal. To me, this is something that would require a lot of work to get past. I don't know. Would I break up with someone over this? No, but it would definitely require a lot of trust.
I agree.
To build up. Okay, so the verdict here was not the asshole. Not the asshole. And that's what Reddit said as well.
Good. Okay.
Next one. Am I the asshole for reading romance novels despite it making my boyfriend uncomfortable?
Oh, I already know my verdict.
Same. All right. I, 29 female, am a huge lover of romance novels. Doesn't matter how bad or trashy they are fun to just veg out as they require very little focus. Yeah.
Yes.
I do enjoy more nuanced books too, but they require more focus and I don't always have the energy for that. I'm currently binging all of Suzanne Tremblay's books. 10 out of 10 would recommend if you like sci-fi fantasy novels. Okay. Noted. My boyfriend, 30M, all these 30-year-old men.
What are we doing?
Has never liked me reading these kinds of books in our 2 years of dating as they make him feel uncomfortable, so I stopped reading them around him. I figure, while not every book in this genre is pornographic, sorry, my mom texted me as I was reading that. I figure while not every book in this genre is pornographic, a fair few are, so that was likely why he felt uncomfortable and I didn't push any further. We are discussing moving in together and he has told me he doesn't want my books on the bookshelves as it's embarrassing to leave them out in the open like that. I told him if he'd prefer, I'll keep them on a bookshelf that isn't in the living room of the house where guests could see it, but no, turns out he doesn't want them in the house at all. I ended up asking him what the fuck his issue was with this and told him they were harmless. He has told me they make him feel uncomfortable by enjoying these kinds of books as they seem low intelligence and make him feel like he's less and not enough. I told him that he was of course enough and pointed out to him that
I'm just staring right down the camera.
Okay. I told him that he was of course enough and pointed out to him how watching porn doesn't mean I am not enough for him, but he refuses to see the similarity. I always figured it was harmless to read these kinds of books. I don't get why it makes him so uncomfortable. Maybe I'm the asshole for still reading them despite knowing he feels this way. No. That's the boyfriend. He needs to figure out his stuff.
Seriously. And him saying low
intelligence?
Like, okay, what are you reading? Let's pull it up.
My guess he's not reading.
Reddit, probably.
He's not,
Yeah. Like, that's insane. And also, most romance books, even if they're smutty, you wouldn't even be able to tell. They're like cartoon characters.
Yeah.
So why do you even, he doesn't want them out for people to see. He doesn't want them in the house. Like, it sounds like he doesn't like being compared
to fictional men.
Yes.
Maybe take a page out of a fictional man's book and figure out how to treat women.
Literally. He's insecure and is,
I think so. Yeah. Comment. Oh yeah, here we go.
Here we go.
Maybe he's afraid those novels will show her what a truly supportive partner looks like.
Clocked.
That's it. Honestly, there does not need to be any more discussion about this one other than not the asshole. Please break up with him.
Literally.
No.
And he's 30. Come on
He's 30. I know.
And you know, if he has read, he's reading like Game of Thrones and he's reading books
or he's reading a bunch of self-help books.
Literally. There's no in between.
But
if he's reading like those big sci-fi books, there is explicit content in that too. Just because it's like,
but it has more
higher fantasy. Like, oh, God. All right.
Moving on. This one will be good. Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend that listening to audiobooks does not count as reading? When me and my... The men are, When me and my girlfriend met, being a book nerd was part of her identity. She read regularly and even volunteered at her local library. Books were kind of her life, and she even had ambitions to work for the library. As an avid reader myself, it is one of the things that attracted me to her. Fast forward a year or so later, and I can't even remember the last time I saw her reading a book. Okay.
Yeah, what?
A username of hers came up in conversation, and the username references her being a book nerd. I pointed out that she doesn't read anymore and therefore is not a book nerd and should make a different username. She defended herself, saying that she is a book nerd because she listens to audiobooks. I tried to explain to her that is not the same because listening to something doesn't take as much brain power as reading does. Audiobooks, I already hate this man. Yeah. Audiobooks are the cheap, easy version of a real book. I don't think someone who listens to books can classify them as a reader. I even told her that she was somewhat dishonest when we first started dating because it seems like books were so important to her, but now she doesn't read at all. She got mad at me and said I'm pretentious and a paper snob.
And she clocked his tea.
Yeah, she really did.
Right.
Oh my God.
First of all, why are we gatekeeping being a book nerd? Why are there like credentials and like criterias of like, you're not a book nerd because X, Y, and Z?
Incredible question. Yeah,
You know
why
what I
are we
mean?
doing that?
Like that, she was exactly right. That's pretentious.
Yeah.
Like, you can still say you're a book nerd and only read a couple books a year.
Yeah. Why does he care? This is the thing, like, and this happens on social media all the time. Like, this argument is not uncommon to have. I love I have probably listened to like 15 audiobooks this year out of the 50 books I've read. Yeah, I'm adding that to my reading goal. Why not?
Why not? And also, how are you going to say that, especially when there's people who have to listen to audiobooks?
Yeah,
they can't actually read a physical book. Are you going to tell them that they're not reading?
It also takes more
don't
time.
Get me started.
Some audiobooks are like 16 hours long,
Literally.
and I can crank out a book in 5.
Yes. And honestly, I think audiobooks take just as much brain power because you have to focus on what these people, and if they're doing voices, you really have to think about, wait, what did they say? And you have to go back. It's not like when I'm sitting down to read a book, I'm locking in, you know, like I'm prepared to sit down and read this. But when I'm listening to an audiobook, you have to like keep yourself mentally engaged in listening.
Yeah. Comment. Geez, are we gatekeeping the love of books now? She is consuming the book in a different manner, doesn't diminish her love of the medium. Another comment, it's almost like saying you don't truly like foreign films because you have to have subtitles on. Also fair. Yeah. What, so you're not watching the movie then if you have subtitles on if it's a different language?
Love when I agree with the Redditors.
Yeah, me too. Here we go. Am I the asshole for giving a book a 1-star rating? I, 30 female, am a co-host of a book club. 2 of the other co-hosts are one of my close friends who is just as active in the book club as I am, and a mutual friend who over time has evidently been losing interest and only showing up / reading the book whenever she feels like it. Also totally fair.
Right.
I don't think you have to read every book club book.
Right.
For context, this book club has been operating on alternate nominations from all of the members, so we feel like everyone has a say in what we read. This particular month, a mutual friend's family member chose the book. To be frank, I hated the book. So did a handful of others that read it. I tried to
It's Powerless.
Let me read ahead. Hold on.
Powerless by Lauren Roberts sucked. Sorry.
That would be actually so. It wouldn't, but that would be so funny if that's what we came to.
Funny. Sorry. Continue.
No, all good. I'm sweating from having to read these because I'm nervous.
I'm just sweating.
Okay.
Just always.
Oh my God. This might be better for everyone to listen to and not watch this time.
Literally don't. Oh no. Sorry. This is a mess. I'm never getting invited back.
No, you absolutely are. It's okay. You can fly next time so you don't have to drive.
Perfect.
All right. To be frank, I hated the book. So did a handful of others that read it. I try to remain neutral during our meetings so I don't complain about what I didn't like. Well, what's the point of a book club if you're not being honest? But I do rate the book honestly on our book club website.
Okay.
Got it. Should have finished the sentence. I proceeded to rate the book 1 star when we were 2 weeks out from our meeting, and I finished the book. When the mutual friend noticed my rating, she came out of the gate super aggressive, asking why I would rate the book so low, and then sent me several angry texts to the other co-host saying how much of an asshole move it was to give a rating that low and that no one likes book club anymore. Funny enough, that month's meeting was the best attended meeting in a couple of months, and a whole slew of other complaints. She claimed it wasn't appropriate to give the book a rating so low. For clarity, she's the only one who's ever been offended when anyone hasn't liked a book or she or her family member nominated. Everyone else is aware it's not a personal attack. This whole thing baffles me because that's the point of a book club. We all have different opinions, and the way she reacted, you'd think she wrote the damn book. I feel like we're all entitled to like or hate a book. This whole encounter has honestly soured my opinion of her ever since. I stopped providing my ratings until after the meetings because I don't want this kind of drama. Again, I had no idea where the outrage came from. Am I missing something? Am I the asshole?
No.
God damn.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, the whole point of a book club is to share thoughts.
Yes.
I get it. Like, I get where if you nominated a book that you were excited to read and like you loved it and everyone else seemed to not like it, I don't think you'd be mad. I think you might feel like, ooh, like I'm a bit embarrassed that I chose a book that not everyone is loving.
Right. Like, sorry, guys.
But she's definitely taking a different approach.
Yeah. Like, I also, my perspective on ratings has shifted so much since being on the opposite end of things too. I'm on both ends because I still very much read and rate things. But I guess being on the author side of it now, I'm like, honestly, I would, if you rate a 1 star, if you rate a book of mine 1 stars, hey, it's okay. 1 star.
1 stars.
Then 1 stars. Then I just know that book wasn't for you.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way. Anytime I rate a book 1 star, like, that's just because, you know what, this book was not for me, but it definitely is for other people. And especially because I know how much work and effort went into that book, and that was that author's life. You know, that's their baby. And so I never want to like be rude about not liking a book. It's just like, you know what, it wasn't for me. So that's what I kind of feel like. She just rated it 1 star because she didn't like it. It's no dig on the author, no dig on the person who picked the book.
Books are also so subjective. So like what you said about like sometimes, I mean, I don't often rate books 1 stars because I probably won't get to the end. If I'm not loving it, I'm just going to be like, okay. And I'm really trying to be better at DNFing a book because I'm not.
Protect your peace. If you don't like it, there you go.
Even like when I'm posting videos, I will be like, okay, like I didn't love this book, but if you like this and this and this, you will love this.
Yes.
Because like, it's not a bad book most of the time. No. I just didn't love, like, a certain trope, a certain, like...
Exactly. And I so appreciate, like, creators like you. And because you're so kind and, like, considerate in the way... Because I love, also, big fan. Like, obviously. And so I watch, like, all of your videos. Yeah. And I love when you make, you know, review videos. And I respect you so much more. I mean, I already respected you, but I respect you so much more in the way that you go about it. Because I think that's literally half the battle of like, it's okay to not like a book, but let's just be like kind. Absolutely. You know, and like, it's totally okay, but I'm sure there's other people who will. And they're clearly, there is a book for every reader. Absolutely. So it's like, just because I wasn't the reader for this book, there will be a different one, you know? So anyways, just wanted to
it's okay,
give you your flowers there because I love the way that you approach it.
Of
course. And I feel like, you know, obviously before I was writing books, I was obviously reading them and reviewing them. And I'm very thankful. Like, I feel like my perspective has definitely shifted, but I'm thankful that even from the beginning, I was like, oh, you know, it's not for me. That's okay. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really, like, I think that's the way to do it.
It's okay. Like, just let it go. Yes. You don't have to tear into it.
Right. I agree.
Okay, we do one more short one. Okay. The alternative name is The Book is Always Better and You Can't Prove Me Wrong. Books are longer. They provide an inner monologue. Books aren't restricted by a budget or performance. Books don't even have close to as many constraints as movies. Of course, they're better. I would love to talk/read about a movie based on a book just once without people telling me the book is better. Comparing a movie to its book is someone like looking at travel photos and say, going there is way better. Of course it is. Can we please stop this madness?
Ooh.
Do you think the book is always better?
I think, in a sense, it's subjective because it depends on if you liked the book. Because there have definitely been some movies or shows based off of books, and I've read the books, and maybe that book, again, like we were just saying, it wasn't my favorite just because maybe I wasn't the target audience. It just wasn't for me. But I've watched the show or the movie and been like, wow, I really like the way that they executed this. And I feel like it added a new perspective, or like, you know, the directing was really good and the visuals, like stuff like that. So I guess if you look at it from that angle of like, if you loved the book, then yeah, I think the adaptation is probably never going to be better.
Yeah.
You know, but if it's the other way around of like, you know, book was okay, you know, it wasn't your favorite, then there's a chance for the adaptation to be like blow your mind.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Agreed. Yeah. I think I love an adaptation. Like I will watch an adaptation just because it is an adaptation. But if it's not like the book or it's different than the book, I don't really care. Like it's a whole new piece of art.
Exactly.
Like it's a whole, like there are different, sometimes the author is not involved in the adaptation in the slightest.
Yep.
So these people take it and run with it, and that's okay. They have every right to do that. I don't like when people are like, oh, it was nothing like the book. I'm like, it's a movie. Of course it's nothing like the book.
Exactly. It's a completely different medium. And like movies and shows have strengths that books can't have. One being you can watch it.
Yes.
Literally, that's the thing that books are lacking. And I think there's so many things about movie where it's like, so many things about movie.
I'm going to have a clip after we do this of like all of our random things that we have said in this episode that do not make sense.
Please, I'll collab.
Yeah.
Collab post. It's just our mess ups. I love it. No, but I feel like there's so many things about movies that like only movies can do of like, books evoke so much emotion. That's very true. But there's something about seeing the emotion on the screen portrayed from a real person rather than you imagining it. And everyone's imagining it differently. So movies have strengths that books don't and vice versa, you know? So it's like, I really liked that, you know, analogy of it's like looking at photos from a trip and being like, well, the place is better. It's like, well, yeah, you know,
it's where it happened. Like but it's different. It's
exactly.
different.
It's different. Yeah.
Anyways, those are all the Reddit stories I have for you.
That was fantastic.
Before I let you go back, can you tell us anything about the adaptation of Powerless? Since we were just talking about adaptations, what can you tell us?
Yes, I can say we're chugging along slowly but surely. Obviously, there's not too much to say at the moment, but I'm going to try and be as involved as I'm allowed to be, you know?
Yeah.
I definitely, you know, want to be a part of what's happening. And so I've hung out with the head writer, Daphne, and she's incredible.
Okay, yes. So she worked on Maxton Hall.
Yes.
Have you watched that show yet?
I have not.
Add it to the list. Like
I am adding it because I'm like, I need to see, because we talk about it. Like we were in LA together, just like we went to like a planetarium together and like bonded. We like trauma bonded fully. Like it was so fun. She is amazing. Like such a genuine and amazing person. I really do think that she will make this great. Truly.
So she's writing the screenplay for it then.
Yes. So she's the head writer, and she's already, you know, expressed she wants my opinions and things like that. So like I said, I'll definitely try to be as involved as I can. And who knows, if I could be an extra who's like dead on the ground, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? I'll twitch. So
oh my God. Can you tell us, like, so she's writing the script. Will she send you portions of it? Will she ask for your feedback while you're doing it?
Yeah. So this is the only adaptation I've ever done. So I don't even know what it compares to, but she has vocalized that she really does want me involved. And she's, again, just an amazing person. I really, really like her. And she has kind of told me that she'll be writing things and she wants to give my input as we're going along, so that, you know, she doesn't write the whole the whole thing and then it's like, here it is, we're shooting it tomorrow, and it's like, well, so she definitely has expressed that she wants me involved in the process. But obviously as authors, like, you know, sometimes it's hard to be involved because you do have to kill your darlings, you know, and sometimes that needs to happen in a TV show. You can't, like, just like you can't have every single chapter of the book in the TV show. So that's why, you know, obviously I can't be calling all the shots, but I definitely want to be as involved as I possibly can be.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, we can't wait. Thank you so much for coming on and
for having me.
We have a whole bucket list of things to do.
Yes.
Next time we see each other, which includes ziplining, thrifting, Nando's. Listen, we're going to have to take a beat on that one. 15%?
I think if we each had about 3 sips, we'd be...
So like, let's go for a walk.
We would. Oh my God.
We'll build up to it.
Will.
I'll take a couple sips. We try again.
let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyways, congratulations on everything. Fearful is out September 2nd, which is already out. This episode will be out soon. So again, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you guys so much for listening to Off the Shelf, and we will see you next Thursday.